Hello and welcome to Knobcat Games Dungeons of the Obelisk podcast. I'm your host, Joe Sleppy, and I'm Executive Prime at Knobcat Games. I'm joined today by our Universe Architect, Josh Otterman.
Hello.
And our Animancer, Nyka Deer.
Hello.
And if this is your first time tuning into the podcast, this is a audio devlog where we get together every 2 weeks and we talk about all the things that we've been working on and the new changes and updates in our game, which is Dungeons of the Obelisk, which is a 2D turn-based dungeon crawling, loot grinding adventure. And when this episode comes out, it's going to be like, let me look. It's going to be like maybe on Christmas. Depends probably the day after Christmas is when this episode is going to come out. But we're recording ahead of time, so just for the listener, you know, we could pretend, I guess, and be like, "Oh, how was your holiday?" But no, I think we have a few things to talk about today. Josh has been getting into server stuff. Nyka's been doing animations, and we have the newest build that we've been checking out. That, you know, we covered most of the changes in it with TJ, but I'm sure you guys have noticed, you know, other stuff maybe that we haven't talked about or have questions or whatever. So more of a free form podcast. I have less stuff on the list, but yeah, why don't we just start with like, I kind of know the answer to this, but how's server stuff going?
Sure. Server stuff is going well, still kind of in those early initial stages. So the thing that I'm working on primarily right now is getting it set up so that users can sign up for an account. So that'll be, you know, us for the time being while we're still in development. But we'll be able to sign up for accounts with like a email and a password and a username, and be able to create a character and have that character saved on the server, and then be able to reload it. So it's not, you know, on your machine anymore. It's actually saved somewhere on the cloud, and we don't have to worry about losing that or have any local like client-based tampering with that. So that'll be the first step. And then after that, I'm going to be switching over to getting a server, an actual like game server set up where players will be able to see each other in the town area. So pretty excited about that. Hopefully the first part will be done by the end of this week. And then I can switch over to setting up that server.
Cool. Yeah. I was thinking about too, like, I feel like this stuff is kind of interesting, like the behind the scenes of how we're like working on this and like making our decisions and stuff. And we don't have to name the company, I guess. Sure. But it was sort of like interesting because we were looking at, we can name Microsoft because they can handle it, I think. But, you know, we were looking at like Microsoft's ecosystem, I guess, for this kind of server stuff for games. And they seem to have a lot of like built-in functions that we need, like our chat and all of that stuff. And then we're thinking about using the unnamed database company. Yep. and we actually like had a call with them, and they were like, "Oh no, you can't use Microsoft with us. You'll have to go with like Google or Amazon, so make sure you check that out." and then me and Josh like hung up with them, and you know, we talked to them a little bit and everything, and we hung up and we were like, do we really want to use Google or Amazon? Like, let's look at this. Let's see what databases Microsoft has. And then it turns out that they have like probably an even better system than the first company we looked at.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like they're the database that they have that we're going with, I wasn't aware of at the time, and I don't know, there were concerns that I had for the database, like how it was structured, that I was worried about with certain databases of that style. But then after doing a little bit more research into it, it sounds like they have basically met all of those concerns that we could have had. So it's really nice to have all of that stuff unified and not like divvying up between different services.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it seems like if we were doing this, you know, 3 or 5 years ago or something, we wouldn't have had a choice and would have had to like, piece together different services. But it really seems like this Microsoft just like ecosystem, I guess, is going to be really useful to us.
Yep.
So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I just thought that was like a neat thing because probably everybody listening to this doesn't know about back-end programming either. It's something that I think everybody kind of has like an idea of how you like program a game, but then like when you start getting into like back-end stuff with servers and stuff, I think that's just like, it's just mind-boggling to me at least.
Yeah. I feel like that's like the tree roots of a game. It's the part that you don't really see, but if you don't have it, it's the tree might fall over or something.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, could you imagine trees without roots?
Yeah,
those are just sticks, I guess. Actually,
yeah, just giant sticks.
It's a good analogy.
But yeah, I mean, I'm having a lot of fun digging into Microsoft's like documentation and learning how to integrate things with the current game code, and that's been a lot of fun. I've used other backend services before, but I haven't used Microsoft until now, and it's set up really nicely. Really enjoying the process of learning that and implementing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I hate to, I don't know, there's sort of like a putting all your eggs in one basket kind of thing, but I think in this case it makes sense because everything is included in the system that you need. So like when you need service or help or support or something, you don't have to like reach out to like 5 different places to figure out what's going on.
Yeah,
and stuff. And also I think so far from what I've seen, the Microsoft system as compared to Google or Amazon actually has help and support, whereas those other ones seem like they expect you to just know.
It seemed like, based off of what they were saying when we were signing up, that it sounds like they were pretty focused on giving you support back within a pretty reasonable time frame. So yeah, that's definitely really helpful, especially when you're hitting your head against the wall, not able to figure out what's going on. You need a little bit more of a in-depth assistance from somebody from their company, and also the fact that they're just so well established, you don't really have to worry about picking something that's not going to last.
Yeah, that's very true too.
I feel like you never know with Google because they're always like introducing services and then like discontinuing them just as fast. So I'm always a little scared to work with Google on things.
That's very true. I used to love Google Inbox, and then they just were like, nope, we're going back to Gmail.
Yeah. And I remember they had what was it? They had Google Wave for a while. It was kind of like Slack or Discord, but for like Google. And I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool, but then they just like killed it about as soon as they announced it.
I never even heard of that one. I know they have like Google Meeting or whatever.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people use their Meetup or Hangouts or whatever it's called. IDK. I like Discord. Discord's good. Does what I need it to do.
Yeah. I use the Google Meetings for interviews. That way, if somebody doesn't have my private Discord name whenever I decide not to hire them or whatever.
Yeah.
I've used Google Meet quite a bit, but I definitely like Discord. It's a nice little one-stop shop.
For sure.
I guess we can change gears a little bit. How's animations going, Nyka?
It's going all right. I guess, are we allowed to talk about like the companion characters much, or?
Yeah. I guess just as a side note, I did a video yesterday and put that on the Discord and it's on my YouTube and stuff. So it shows the companions and artifacts and stuff pretty heavily. So yeah, those
awesome.
are all out there.
Okay, well yeah, I'm working on animating 2 companions right now. And, a lot of this is going to be stuff you already know, but just for the listeners. One thing we kept noticing, at least from my point of view, was that, like, we were definitely emphasizing, like, the monstrousness of our like enemies because we wanted them to be like obviously something you fight. But, you know, there's a part of you that's like, oh, but this is a little creature. I want to have like something cool like that I can like befriend or something. And so we introduced this whole companion system, and we have a few that are based pretty similarly to some of our mobs. Like we have Pipsqueak, who is a lot similar to our puke rat, except he's a lot cuter and nicer. And so a lot of what I've been doing has been taking that old rig of like the puke rat and figuring out how to transfer it to the new Pipsqueak character. And with we have this frog companion who also has a coinciding mob that's a frog, and so I've been setting up their animations from scratch, kind of considering both characters when I'm doing it and not just one, because one of them needs to look kind of monstrous, but they are going to hopefully be using the same rig and the same general animation set. So it's kind of just kind of animation work that's more busy work than anything, but it's cool. I like being able to transfer stuff over and repurpose things. We've definitely been planning to do that as much as we can, and I feel like we're finally starting to see some of that. Like getting to play with the mobs we already have and make them into companions and stuff is really fun.
Yeah, we did it a little bit with the skeleton, who hasn't actually made an appearance yet, but
oh, that's right.
That mirrors the player character, and then we have the skeleton. Which...
I forgot we made a mob out of that. It's been a while.
So the skeleton was gonna be the trash mob in the swamp, you know, with the idea being like there'd be skeletons laying all around the swamp, and they sort of like came alive and attacked you with the other mobs. But then the other mobs ended up all being like swamp creatures, and it felt weird to not have to have the skeleton be the one, like, you know, magical undead creature. So I made the call and made we decided to make Mo, which is the mosquito trash mob.
Oh yeah, and I guess I just finished animating Mo. That was a fun one. Or no, I guess I just finished animating Snack. I'm getting them crossed up.
Yeah, you've been making them pretty quick. You know, Mo and Snack and the boss all happened pretty quickly in the past month or two, and they're in the game now, but you have to get to the breach to see them.
Oh yeah, I am just playing the game so far. I saw I'm on level 3 right now, so I'm seeing the puke rats and I'm seeing the slimes or the glubs. But also I got the globe offhand item, and I actually haven't seen that in game yet, so that's really cool seeing it like animating and everything.
Oh, the shiver?
Yeah. No.
The globe.
The globe. Yeah.
What's that? What is that called?
I'm in a battle right this second where I look it up.
Yeah. Well, look at it when you're done. But yeah, I can't remember what I named it. I think it's like...
Is it like Atlas or something?
It's killing me that I named all this stuff and then like can't remember it.
Oh, well, that's like a whole document of names, though. It's like, I don't blame you for forgetting one or two of them.
I named all of the stuff in, like, all of the items. I was like staring at a blank sheet and I was like, okay, we have all of these items that we need. You know, there's 4 offhands, a handful of weapons, and then you have a body, legs, feet, head for each rarity. And I was like sitting there looking at them, and I had a monster and I just named them all in like one night.
Nice.
So it was like just a blur of naming and searching the thesaurus and stuff like that. And
nice.
I think it came together well.
All right, I guess the globe is called Historic Globe.
Historic, yes. I was thinking like ancient, but I knew that wasn't right.
Also, I just got the Inclement sword too. And that's a really cool design, the Inclement sword. Oh
yeah, that's my favorite like non-legendary item.
Yeah, that's a pretty design. I just leveled up to level 3 so I can equip it now, and I'm just like, hey. trying to think if there's anything else besides just like the animation stuff. I've been really trying to just like get them out lately.
Yeah, we have a whole list. I kind of TJ and I have had like a roadmap for a while with a ton of stuff on it. You know, basically like there was basically an outline for everything in the game that needed to be done, and you know, like we've been plugging away at it. But with you and Ben, we didn't really have like a document that said what we needed, so I actually made those. It's been a little while now. I think we've had them for a month, but we now have a to-do list of all the animations and all of the artwork that needs to be done, and there's still quite a bit on there. You know, I feel like TJ is getting down to where he's mostly fixing bugs and tweaking things, but like we still have a lot of like art and stuff that Ben has to do.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine just with like the hub world, because that's still like all placeholder mostly.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, it takes a long time to make all that, so I'm not the rush Ben at all. It's just like, wow, I bet that's a lot.
The breach map is still a placeholder as well, so we have the town and the breach that are both just they look really nice, but they're still just placeholders. So those will probably take. I would say each of them will probably take about a month.
Sure.
to like finally finish them.
I saw the placeholder like portal in the group. That was looking really cool for the breach. I mean.
Oh yeah, the breach, the rip in space time.
Yeah.
I think it turned out really well.
It really sells the name of the breach. It's like, oh, it's this like tear. It's like glowing and stuff. I love it.
Yeah, I told Ben, I was like, there's two things that I don't want it to be. Mm-hmm. One is just like a black hole. Oh yeah, that's kind of what it might be in real life or something. You know, like you always see black holes in like cartoons or whatever. And then the other thing was, I don't want it to be a space vagina. I just wanted it to be. I didn't want it to just be like a.
That's a surprisingly common design problem, because I feel like I've seen a lot of portals that are like kind of shaped like that.
Yeah. So I think he did a really good job of making it look like, you know, a tear in the fabric of space, but neither of those things.
Yeah.
We could probably post that in the Discord. I should remind him that he could maybe share that.
I guess something else I can mention. This is kind of wild. So I've been running the Instagram, and I noticed we're getting close to 1,000 followers, which is insane because I've never had 1,000 anything. So, so I actually went ahead and I made like this little graphic that's like, thanks for 1,000 followers or whatever, and I've had that like almost half a month now, just sitting in my folder for when it happens.
Right on. Yeah, that is nuts, because I've never had. I think my like music account is on like 200 or something.
Yeah, like,
so it's just like, you know, something I've been working on for 10 years. I'm not very good at social media though, so.
Oh, me neither. Like, my YouTube is like 60 people or 50 people, and then like I think the most I've ever had was like almost 700 followers on Twitter once, which was kind of awful. It gets really chaotic the more followers you get on that site.
Yeah, that's very true.
And but you know, I kind of repurposed my accounts to be like more like, here's an art account, here's a personal account, and I tell you, my art account is constantly getting spam mail nowadays. It's kind of a mess. Like, they think I'm a company or something, so they're constantly sending me deals and offers, and I'm just like, no, thank you.
I feel like there has been an uptick in that since whatever Buddy Boy took over.
Yeah, Mr. Tesla or whatever his name is. It's I've been kind of looking at like social media stuff. Like, I didn't think I'd be looking at Tumblr again, but I'm seeing people move to Tumblr, so I'm like, maybe I'll make my art on Tumblr one day again. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I met Ben on Tumblr, so that's shows how long we've been friends, I guess.
See, I'm trying to remember if I met you on Tumblr or if it was just like YouTube or something, because I know
we met through a mutual friend.
That's right, because we had like a lot of like mutual creatives in our life, like Klaus and Spooter guys and whatnot. But yeah, if you're listening, hi. But, yeah.
Yeah, I was watching Klaus streaming the other day. This maybe we're too far off topic for anybody to
for sure.
relate. Maybe are you still playing the build?
Yeah.
Right on.
Yep.
Did you have a chance, Josh, to like get in and look at stuff?
I have, yeah. I'm actually playing the build right now too, but I did get a chance to play it a little bit over this weekend, and I've been having a lot of fun figuring out how to equip like the right kind of gear to like change the combat and make it the way that I want it to be. Like I realized that I had no let's see, what's it? I had no dexterity whatsoever, and so then like I was gonna attack like 10 times before I was getting a chance to attack back, and so I was like, I've got to change this somehow. But then I don't know, it was just a lot of fun, kind of like figuring that out on the fly and learning how all the stats were working and figuring out how to get my gear situated with what I had to make it more usable in the game. So that I've been having a lot of fun with that, and I'm not very far yet, but I'm still just trying to level up and getting close to level 3.
Yeah, I'm actually rerunning level 3 or the 3rd floor right now, because like I did just level up to level 3, but things are still like kicking my butt, so I want to get a little stronger. But I like that a lot of the equipment is like level locked, because like I had to make my best build for level 2. Well, I had all this equipment. I was already thinking about like, okay, how am I gonna build it once I can use this sword or this like chest piece? And now I'm level 3 and my health is from like the early 200s to like 710 now, and so it's like a pretty decent gain right there that I can build. And that's just because like I can use equipment that I couldn't use at level 2 now. I think that's pretty fun. The pacing's getting really good at this point, like as we kind of lock it down and get the gameplay loop going.
Yeah, it's awesome to like hear about that, because that's kind of how I want it to play out. You know, like I think the system is really fun to like try and figure out, and the 4 major stats aren't too complicated, so like once you get the grasp of those, then it is really cool to like make your build and stuff, and you can go to the blacksmith and reforge eventually once you have enough like materials and stuff. So if you need like health or constitution on something, you can go swap something around, so that's an option now too. But it's neat like hearing other people talk about it, because I made it, so like whenever I'm playing, I'm just like, oh yeah, I need more decks. Like there's no I don't have to like think about it the way that a new player does.
Yeah, and for me it's like I'm seeing the art in our discords. I'm kind of vaguely familiar with things, but at the same time, like seeing how it plays in game's a whole different prospect. So I'm like going through and figuring out like, okay, what equipment's gonna like give me enough like speed, but also not take away like all of my health, for instance, because like there's always some kind of trade-off with these things, and I don't know, that's really engaging, I think. And I don't know, the four stat system, I kind of like how refreshingly like it's not too simple, but it's definitely not too complicated. Like I've played some RPGs where you have like 10 different separate stats and you have to manage all of them, and I'm like, I'm not a numbers person, like that stuff goes over my head, but I can manage like 4 sets of numbers, that's fine.
Yeah, it's definitely supposed to be easy to get started, and then once you get deeper into the game and learn more, then you can start worrying about, all your minor stats and stuff.
Sure.
But
I don't know, it's of course I'm never gonna get over seeing things I made move running around in a game. That's still what, like, I'm pretty sure I've seen the puke rat before, but when I saw it this run, I smiled. I was like, oh, there he goes. He's so small. I love it. It's really coming along at this point. It's hard to imagine like back when we were just using like placeholders we found online and we just had that like little purple dungeon, and it's come a long way since that.
Yeah, it's I'm like trying to not, I don't want people to be too excited because it's still gonna be a while. Like, we still have a lot to do, but as far as playtesting it feels like such a complete game now. You know, you still run into bugs and there's still so much stuff that needs like cleaned up and finished and everything, but it's very playable and it's very fun and that makes me really excited. I can't wait till like other people can play it.
And you can like really sink some time into it at this point. Like, it was fun checking it out early on, but then like once you beat that first floor, it was just kind of like, okay.
Yeah, now we
that
have.
was a weird glitch. I'm gonna write that down. My character just popped up in the middle of the battlefield for some reason.
That's weird.
I haven't seen that before. But
Yeah,
then
I
like as
haven't.
soon as they attacked, it reset it to normal, and I'm just like, huh.
Oh jeez, stuff like that is so hard to find.
Yeah, because it's like, well, what's even doing that, right?
Yeah, and you have to figure out how do you replicate it.
Yeah, that's the thing, because it's like, you can always find random glitches, but like, is it gonna be something we ever see again? Like, so if I get that to happen again, I'm definitely noting like what I was doing when that happened, because makes me think I need to turn the auto feature off more, because it kind of just like flew through that.
Yeah, I mean, the game is meant to be played with that auto button, at least. You know, you can play any way you want, and whenever you're fighting, like,
Oh yeah.
the bosses and stuff, you might want to click it off and slow down what you're doing, but it is meant to have that on, so...
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I've tried just walking around the dungeons, and it's really difficult. It's so hard to find everything in there and stuff when you're just manually exploring.
Yeah, but if you're lost and you hit auto, your character's like, oh, let's go this way. There's a box over here. There's an enemy. It's really useful.
Yeah, that's funny because I was actually just doing that where I forgot that I could do auto while I was walking, and I was just wandering around going, "Where's the last box?" But then, yeah, auto is definitely helpful in that situation.
Yeah, it's some games like don't introduce the auto right away, and they make you walk around and stuff, but I don't think that works for our game. Like, the dungeons aren't linear, so it's hard to find everything, and that's why that auto button is like so front and center.
Yeah, like if we had like a very like straightforward like tutorial floor or something, might make sense, but like having it as open as it is, it kind of makes sense to be able to just like have it navigate around for you.
The game's not supposed to be, it's not like a clicker or an auto battler per se, but it definitely has like elements of those things. You know, I like those kind of gameplay. You know, I think there's going to be a lot of people who have our game up on the other screen while they're working and stuff, you know, because you can run dungeons that way. You know, once you're powerful enough, you can just zip through them, and we have the pause auto settings now, so that if you drop a piece of legendary loot or a set item or something, it will pause the game so that you don't miss it.
I just noticed that was an option in here. Cool. Huh. I noticed that because it used to just automatically like continue, but now I like that the option's there now, in case you want to like inspect your loot or like mess with your items before you run to the next battle.
Yeah, it kind of starts with them all on, so every battle it just pauses, and then once you get tired of that, you can just have it pausing on like all the rare items, and then once you have all rare items, then you can turn that one off and just care about the legendaries and set pieces.
Nice.
That is nice.
It's a decent little grind to level 4 from 3. I definitely got a lot of like extra like stats and stuff once I hit level 3, but I like that there's still like a good healthy grind to it even then. Like, I'm just on the 4th floor right now, but it feels pretty natural with like where I'm at so far in the game. And I mean, I'm always trying to see if I can like break my builds a little, so even despite that, it's working fine. Like, I'm like, let's see what happens if we put all our stats into strength and just one hit them. It's like, well, if you ever hit them, but yeah.
Were you gonna say something, Josh?
Oh yeah, that's right. I was just gonna say I think this is really nice the way that you've done the auto, just because like I know that there's some games where that just like where it only lets you do auto, and that turns it off to some people. But like I love that you have the option to, but you also have full control over that option to do auto, and like how you were saying with those options that you can like switch throughout like the gameplay as you need to or want to. I love that it gives you that full control to be able to do that, because like you said, like once you get all of, like a certain rarity of gear, you don't want to be interrupted by it. Yeah, turn that off so that it doesn't pause it. But also, just being able to give the players who do want to like sit there and micromanage a little bit more, that option is really nice to have as well. So I just really like that it's like full control for the player.
Yeah, that is something that is in the design document, actually. Like it said that it's supposed to feel like customizable, like your game, you should be able to like control and customize your gameplay. So it's set up, like there's so many different kinds of players that do different things, so I want to accommodate everybody instead of just, my own personal play style. So there's a lot of things that are in there because they're quality of life things that I want to have in a game, but it's also there so that people can do what they want. Like my one friend only plays games without using like mana abilities. He likes just like attacking with like punches or something. It was so bizarre when he was telling me about it, but I was like, I guess you can just not have karma and do that in this game. It's definitely I don't know how viable it is, but it is an option.
For sure. I just hit level 4. Nice.
Nice. I have to say, just like the art and the animation, everything, it just looks so nice. Like coming onto this project not too long ago, I've been very surprised and happy with like how nice and well running the game feels.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like we just have like such a good team. Whenever I was thinking about doing this, there was like no question about it. Like, because I knew Ben and Nyka, I thought that this game could happen. If I didn't know them and I was just like, oh, I want to make a game, I'll hire an artist, like, I don't think it would have worked. It was like my two friends, and I was like, what do you think about this idea? And they were both on board, and Ben was super excited to do art for a game like that. It was something that he'd wanted to do, and I feel like if I tried to do this 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to design it, and his art chops might not have been there to he's been a good artist for a long time, so maybe I shouldn't even say that, but it's the kind of thing where it's like it just fell into place. It felt like this game will look awesome because Ben's art is awesome, and then Nyka's animations just make his art so much better. Like it's so good. And then the first programmer we had was really good, and he got us started on really solid foundation. And then there was Nicholas, who kind of was the transfer between our first programmer and then TJ now, and he helped us out a lot. And then TJ kind of got on and just took off running, and the game's just been getting better and better. So it's I don't know, it's just like an amazing thing to see unfold. I know this podcast maybe ends up being a lot of us talking about how proud we are of stuff, but I hope it comes through genuinely. It's not just something that I don't think we're just proud of it because we made it. I think it's going to be really good, and I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it.
Absolutely. I thought it was really interesting too, because like I'd had the thought for a long time, but I'm like, I know all these creative types, and like if we could all just like come together, we probably really have something, but I never knew what to do with that. And then, so when you came along and were like, hey, I know all these creative types, want to help me make a game? I was like, that makes sense. That makes total sense, actually. Because like you figure like we're all sitting around like having like wanting to make stuff, and we're also like creative. Like Ben's an amazing artist, like you said, and like TJ's just awesome at programming. Your design chops are even really impressive. It's just like you don't want that all just like sitting on a shelf. It's like you want to do something with that. So it's really exciting to be part of his project.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie though, it really fell together. In part because of my day job. You know, they moved me because of work, and I ended up selling my old house and buying a new house and making a ton of money on the sell of my old house while getting a new house at somehow a good price in the area that I live. And that's really been, you know, all of the other stuff is important too, probably more important, but like this wouldn't happen without that kind of, I guess privilege that I have, you know, like I'm lucky enough that I have a good job and have been able to save money over the years. And then that little bit of a windfall is what made this possible, you know, and then I'm lucky enough to have a wife that allows me to spend a lot of money on projects like this too. So, you know, that's something that, you know, I'm really grateful for as well.
Seriously, it's seriously like a right place, right time kind of scenario where it just everything kind of worked out. Or I guess all the stars kind of aligned is another way of putting it.
Yeah, it's crazy like looking back on stuff like this, and we are going long on this podcast. I guess this is our holiday spectacular long episode or whatever, but it's crazy looking back at this because I'm 36 now, which isn't super old, but it's not super young either. And, you know, a lot of people that are listening to this are probably going to be, you know, younger gamers and stuff. And when they're thinking about like, oh, I want to do something, you know, in art or be creative or whatever, it doesn't happen like instantly. You know, you need that like age, I guess. You know, I couldn't have done this 10 years ago. If somebody had come to me with $100 million and said, hey, here you go, make a game, like it would have been shit. Like there's just no way that I could have designed it the way I've done, and I didn't know enough about it, you know. So it takes a lot of time to, you know, get your chops up, like you said, you know, to learn these things, to make those connections with people, you know, so that when the opportunity does come, that you know a Ben and Nyka that can jump in there for you and do awesome stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, and I'm just like, I'm glad I've kind of brought us onto a team like this, because like you had all these friends, but like I didn't really know Ben before this or anything like that, and it's cool being part of a team because that's pretty rare in my creative life. Actually, I do most of my stuff solo. So I don't know. It's a really, I feel like it's a really like good and healthy like make change for me.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like I've made techno for I don't even want to think about how many years. Let's just say over 10 years because like I never really could get a band together, you know, nothing would stick. So I ended up, you know, migrating.
Bands are the hardest though, honestly. Like,
yeah, that's very true.
I've never played with a band, but I've been in like 2 or 3, so I get it.
Yeah, that's a lot of
something always happens, or like, you know, people move in different directions. Stuff happens. I find funny because I didn't actually know anything about like, I barely knew anything about Unity coming into this project. Like, I've played with it a little in the past, but I've mostly just like followed other people's like examples. But like, I've been like finding myself hopping into Unity and playing with like mechanics and stuff more, just like experimenting, and I don't know, it's been really fun. Like, I'm a gamer, that's the main thing I think about and talk about, and yet I wasn't working in games already. It's like, what? This is kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think even if this game doesn't succeed for some reason, it's an amazing thing that's going to be on all of our resumes. You know, we can take this and I think you know, you and Ben especially, and TJ for sure, and yeah, I guess Josh, you too. Like if you get servers set up, you're gonna be able to show someone this.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna look awesome and play awesome, and it's gonna be like an amazing thing. I don't know. Like I keep saying, even if it fails, I don't think it's going to though. I think it's gonna be. You know, I hope that we can snowball this into something and do it full time, and you know, really keep building it, because you know, we keep talking about the MVP, the minimum viable product, which is going to be the game when we launch, and that's like not the game, you know, like that's the beginning of the game. You know, there's still 90 more dungeon levels that I have in mind. I guess 9 more breaches, you know, a whole bunch of different systems and loot things and upgrades and stuff that I still want to be able to make. So, you know, I hope that we can launch and people like it enough and can see the vision that they want to support us and you know, help the game continue and grow to what it's actually supposed to be.
For sure. I'm really excited for when like people eventually get their hands on it. I mean, I'm also nervous as heck about it, but like it's been fun seeing people like pop into like the Instagram DMs just being like, so when can I try this? Like it's cool seeing that there's already been kind of some interest. I know we have like at least a couple of people in the Discord who've been asking as well, so that's been really cool to see.
Just imagine when somebody is like streaming this on Twitch or something.
For real.
Oh yeah, that's definitely going to be something that I want to integrate as well. You know, I want to support our Twitch streamers and stuff. You know, that's something that I maybe need to get that into the design document and stuff, so that we can get a few of those features and stuff, because I think the bulletin board in town should link to people who are streaming the game.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
I played another game for like 3.5 years very consistently on Twitch, and they never gave a shit about anything that I did, you know. We had a nice little community of people. A lot of those people have followed the Discord and are paying attention to this game now, but like the game never did anything for me, which always you know, not that they owed me anything, but it was kind of weird because like I was like the only one doing it for a while too. You know, I wasn't the first and I wasn't the only person, but I was like the most consistent for at least a solid 2 years. You know, where I was like on at least every other night, always on the weekends, like stuff like that. But I think if people do that for our game, we should like acknowledge it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, there's things we can do for them too. You know, we can help them, like, you know, maybe run some contests or something like that. You know, there's a lot of things that we can think about in the future, you know, if when we get to that point. But I think at the very least we can, you know, promote them in game somehow. Because like Twitch already has, you know, what am I trying to say? Like standards, practices, rules, you know, like you can't do certain stuff on Twitch. So I think that already covers, you know, it's not like we're just going to have random people streaming, you know, weird stuff.
For sure.
Because those rules are already in place on Twitch. So I think it would work out pretty good.
Yeah, I guess like a lot of people, like a lot of this stuff on Twitch is like making sure you don't have like copyrighted music, but also just like, I don't want to say that Twitch doesn't let any like adult content on it, but basically none. Like it's very, you know, they want it to be kind of a general audience thing, even though some of the games are a little more like mature rated or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's probably like I don't know what the age is that you have to be on Twitch. Is it 13 like other stuff?
Not sure.
That's a good question.
Probably.
I don't know.
Because I think that's what our game is going to end up being rated, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, basically like a rated T kind of thing almost.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, there's laws and stuff in place like that. You know, if you're promoting to children, you have to follow a whole nother
Oh yeah.
set of rules and stuff. So, you know, it's easier to just say like, nobody under 13 is actually allowed to play this, so sorry. But
Yeah.
It's not really a young kids game anyways, so
Yeah.
well, we've really kind of gotten off on some tangents, I guess.
I guess so.
I think it was a pretty good episode. I don't know if if you have anything else you want to talk about, because I can talk about this game like all day, but I assume you two have some other places to be, stuff to work on.
I probably should get going pretty soon.
For sure. Yeah, let's wrap this up. I hope everybody had a great holiday, since this turned into our extended holiday episode. And if you've made it to the end of this, thank you so much for listening. I'm glad that you're interested in our game. Make sure you check out our website, which is knobcat.com, and the link to our Discord is going to be there, so you can come in, join the Discord. There's going to be links to the videos that I've made there, and of course you can talk to us and ask questions. If you have any questions about the game, I'd love to answer stuff like that. We have the Twitter, which is not very active, and we have the Instagram, which Nyka said is almost at 1,000 people, so
Yep.
if you're not on there, help us get to 1,000. That's going to be at Dungeons Obelisk, and I think that's it. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.